Greetings gamers, welcome to part number 34 of my Let's Play Fire Emblem 9 Path of Radiance. And in today's episode, much to do in Entrusted. Sir, the Crimean army has arrived. I hope they are prepared to pass into oblivion, for this will be their final resting place. Crimean stragglers joined with an army on loan from Bigneon? I've even heard they have a betrayer in their midst, and yet they still march on. What an odd group. But as long as Kilvas stands at the side of Dayan, they have no future. I suppose they're just unlucky. It appears the enemy has spotted us. Well, a group this large is hard to miss. How will you proceed? No tricks, nothing fancy. We'll hit them from the front, fast and hard. I'm sure you're already aware of this, but if you don't do something about Kilvas, you're at a disadvantage. Yes, I've heard about the Ravens, but even so, it's not as if we can turn tail and run away. Now that I think on it, King Kilvas and Prince Rayson used to be close friends. Did you ask him to speak to the king? He was most emphatic in his refusal. It seems that Naysala was responsible for Rayson's capture at the hands of Duke Tanas. I can't really blame him. And the Hawks? They too are of the bird tribes. Surely some connection can be found there. They weren't very excited about the suggestion. You could command them to do it. There's an antagonism between the tribes that we don't understand. I'd rather not force the issue. Trying to coerce them into it would be unfair. I will let them do as they please. That is so very like you, and so very much not like a commander. However, giving orders that are unpopular is often necessary when one is in command, and maybe so, but I can only do things the best I know how, my own way. Come, it's time to go. Incorrect is still incorrect, friend. Alright. So, this is kind of an interesting chapter to tackle, because you have Naysala, the Raven King. There is 100% no way to get this Leguz band. I made the flub up of saying, oh, you could steal this. I was under the impression that he would not transform and just stay there until you approached him within his range. He would not do that, because then you would get a Leguz band. Leguz bands are a band that, when equipped, allows its wearer to maintain animal form at all times. Abilities are not affected for Leguz nobles only, it says. You can't get this. This is impossible to obtain. There is no way to obtain it, and I'm pretty sure even if you could obtain it, I think it's hard-coded to only work on certain Leguz, of which Naysala happens to be one. If you see, he has a terrible might weapon, but that almost doesn't matter. 39 or 31 strength, 30 skill, 34 speed, 24 defense, 19 resistance, 17 magic. Now his magic actually has a purpose. This man is incredible. He is stronger than some of the end game bosses in this game. And it begs the question, why are you fighting him on chapter 19 when Ike has just been promoted? We're pretty well a little over halfway through the game. Reason being is because he's a flying Leguz, and there are ways to take care of him. He might be strong, he might have a lot of strength and skill and speed, and a huge amount of movement. You do have to keep this in mind. He is very well defeatable. One of the ways that you can defeat him is by the triangle attack with Boyd, Oscar, and Rolf. Now, I don't have any of those said units, but if you were to position them in such a way that they were attacking him with bows, especially forged bows, because you're going to need hit in order to hit this guy at times, you are going to have a very easy time with King Kilvas, even when he's automatically transformed because of the Leguz band. And I mean pretty darn easy. This game does supply you with the means and method in order to get that by this point. And in fact, you would have already had the second conversation of the three brothers that would unlock the triangle attack like 3 or 4, I wouldn't say 3 or 4 chapters before now, but you could have. You could have, definitely. Now, what's interesting is that he has Vantage, allows this unit to attack first in all fights, so he has an advantage. But he also has Vortex. This is the occult scroll mastery skill for the Ravens because there is only one Raven in this game in which you can obtain, and he is in the final chapter of this game that you can obtain him, you only see this possible on one unit, and it's on an enemy as of now. Attacks with the same effect as wind. So it's wind magic. I believe it's actually L wind, but it attacks with his magic, not his strength. And that's the reason why he has 1-2 range, as is so well evident here. This is awesome, but also not that great, because he cannot counterattack with this. It is a command. It is not his regular attack. It's still good. It means that he is one of the only Legus in this entire game that has the capacity to attack with 1-2 range. I do have to be kind of careful about where I place my units. Where are you striking at, bud? Up to here. Okay, so I have a little bit of a plan, and that plan is what I always do in this chapter. I think it's kind of the smart thing to do, and that is to go to the front line with all of my best units, and I unequip their weapons. And the reason being for this is because what it does is it allows me to soak up attacks while continuing the strategy on this particular chapter, which is a very important one. I do not have enough units for this, though. So I'm going to have to minimize this probably next turn. I miscounted. Bolting. I can't reach any of them, but it would be nice too. Ah, wow, that's incredible. I'm only one might away from KOing. Well, what I could do, and I think this is a really good idea, is I'm actually going to go up here. I'm going to dance or chant with Rayson on Tormod. Yeah, he's not KOing either of these guys. And I'm pretty sure... Okay, he's got an attack +2. Actually, he could KO. That's super great. Attack +2 with Rayson. So that means that Canto was pointless for this specific turn. Items. Unequip. So I can use my Legus here as blockades. You have to be kind of careful about this, but how you can get away with doing just this is you can trade them, the Legus band, or the Demi band, and then have them equip it and unequip it, and immediately they will go back to 0 gauge, like Moram has here, which is both a positive and a negative thing. So I already know what I'm going to be doing next turn. Problem is that Rayson has a significant chance to potentially die with this strategy. I don't know if Naysala moves. If he moves, this strategy is dead, but it doesn't matter because it would be nice if he moved. It would help me out in the long run anyway. So because of this, what I'm going to do is give you the full guard temporarily so that he can use it to get into the ballista range, and then I can go ahead and strike the leftmost ballista. I don't care about the rightmost. Yep. Striking me will be your downfall. Mist is not exactly the greatest unit to play dodge tank for all these units, because she still does take a lot of damage when she does get hit, and if she does get hit. But she is a great unit in this matter for the fact that... Okay, so Naysala doesn't move. because that usually she avoids. She has a lot of avoid, a lot of speed, a lot of luck. So that's just how that goes. Alright, so I can KO either of you. And of course I'm going to be doing the leftmost. It will make things very easy. I could... Where am I going to go here? Here, I suppose. I'll put you here. The wise viewer will notice that I forgot something very important, and that is equipping the full guard with Racing in that moment. Well, that's unfortunate. +2 attack, and... Okay, so who else has he supported? Racing and Devdan. So I'm going to have to move you here for the time being, because I need one of you to perish. Perfect. And I believe he just crit, which is even more humorous, because that means that it didn't matter his attack power, but you can't bet on stuff like that. You just really cannot. Growing into a fantastic unit. Auto-equips that set because the bolting is gone. Alright. I'll wait with you here. I don't have to worry about him anymore. But I do have to worry about these three. If I could get them to attack my units. So, yeah, I can easily get... What I'll do is move you away for the time being. I'm going to rescue Racing because I made that mistake. I'm going to trade... I guess I have to trade on him. And drop. And then that will be perfect. I can't really do anything else right now. What I am probably going to do is get that full guard on Janov immediately next turn and then start getting Naysala and them over here. I need to KO all of these guys to get them out of my way. But it's going to be kind of a little bit of a tricky task. Him, he can reach right here, so that'll be fine. But him, I'm just not going to be able to draw him with Tormod. It's not going to be possible. I don't have any flyer units that I am currently using for my party, which is unfortunate to say the least, but it's not something that really can be avoided. Trade. Items equip. And unequip. Very simple. The Ravens are not, from my recollection, coded to attack you. What they will do instead is that they will just continuously roam around until you get into their range, or they get into your range, in fact. If either of those things happen, then you have to deal with the Ravens. It's why I'm unequipped, because I don't want to KO them. I do not want to fight them, even. So you must keep all of the Ravens alive, and you must talk to Naysala with Janov, as well as with Rayson, in order to get a special item. That item is most definitely worth it. Trade. And then Naysala. How about you? Do your guys' ranges overlap? Yes, they do. So I'm going to have to KO you first. I'll put you here. And I'll put Devdan back here. Yeah, Shinon definitely needs to be healed up. Perfect. So Mist has a physic on her, and that is for the purposes of healing up Janoff, because he's most likely going to take a lot of damage. Now, granted, this is not a foolproof strategy, because the problem with it is that even though Janoff does have 16 dodge, Naysala does have, oh, well, only 15 crit. I don't think he's going to have any crit on him, but he will attack him twice. So, what that means is he's going to be doing quite significant damage. I would say maybe 10 or 11. If it's just Elwyn, he's only going to be doing 7 times 2, so actually not that significant of damage. I'm going to be able to get this strategy moving next turn, hopefully. Yep, I'm not surprised that you decided to attack Tormod. You're not going to get much out of doing that. Perfect. Even though it's not a full-on KO, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to be able to KO him next turn because he was at the edge of his range. He couldn't Kanto away, which is fine with me. Being surrounded like this means that you do have to be very careful about your healing. Make sure that you have everybody perfectly kept safe and sound. Sed would have been better to use on this enemy here, but it doesn't really matter. I'm going to have more than enough transformation gauge to do what I need to with good old Naysala. And I can even put him right here. Equip. Pure Water. Naysala might actually do no damage to him now, which would be even funnier, in my humble opinion. And I have to just keep holding this wonderful position. Items equip. And then unequip. Perfect. And then unequip. And I don't really think I have much of anything else to do. I could heal up Tormod. I suppose that wouldn't be a terrible idea. And then I can chant with Racin. And that is my turn. Now the strategy begins. So much of this strategy is based around a little bit of a slow defensive wall, some turtling. But after you get through with that turtling, you can easily just start mowing down the rest of the enemies, especially because due to this wonderful strategy, the Ravens are going to become green units, which means that they will not attack you any further. This is not Thracia, where green units are just another enemy affiliation.
King of Crows, do you seriously think to betray your fellow Legoos?
Oh, please. You hawks are always so excitable. You know the true nature of my fellow ravens, so? Only 2 damage. That's kind of funny. So that means that his Elwind... I think Rayson is going to transform this turn, which would be nice. Yes, he is. So his Elwind is... So plus 2, 21. So that means it's a 4 might. Is Elwind normally 4 might? I'm not entirely sure.
You, King Kilvas, you egg-stealing snake.
One of Tibarn's flock, eh?
You are his eyes, if I'm not mistaken. It's not enough that you sold the White Prince to humans. Now you're fighting against Legoos.
You hawks rescued Rayson, didn't you? So everything worked out in the end. What's the problem?
I'd like you to repeat those words to the prince's face.
Rayson is here?
Here?
Why?
He supports the Crimean army. The Bjork leading this army helped him to rescue Serenus Forest.
Helped him? Are you saying a human came to the aid of Rayson? A Legoos?
Yes, and he rescued Princess Leanne, too.
Leanne? Is alive?
Don't play the fool. You know the life of the forest has returned. That was their power at work.
I see. That's how the forest. Of course.
Listen up, Crow. You need to fly over there and talk to the prince. If you don't do it, I'm going to know that you really are the enemy and report that back to King Tibarn. Think it over.
Yes, What to do? So now, if I'm not mistaken, what is going to happen here is that Naysala will just come straight to talking to Rayson, which means that I can pretty well move out of the way of... Okay, so Rayson's here. Yeah, this guy's annoying. I wonder if I can get completely out of his way. No. I'm going to be in the ballista's range with Rayson if I move him. So that is kind of not what I want to do. This guy, don't think he can fly over there? Well, I'm gonna check, actually. If I put you here... Okay, he can fly. Very bad idea. Hopefully that does not come back to bite me, but the fact of the matter is... Equip. Staff, mend. Hopefully that does not come back to bite me, but I kind of did not unequip the said tome, or the thunder, which is not great. So, with that being said, I'm going to physic up Janoff. And then I'm going to wait one more turn. Naysala should be able to come close enough for me to reach him with Rayson, which would be fantastic. I mean, a little bit extra bulk is great. Again, I wouldn't mind if she got max strength, but I also kind of don't care because she has max magic and her weapon of choice. So, I think she's perfectly fine the way she is. Now, if you want to use physical weapons with her continually, whilst also being able to wield stuff like the Sonic Sword, you do have to take that into account. And that does mean... Okay, he hit him again. Not great. That does mean that you do want her to have maximum or close to maximum strength, which she is close to maximum, so it's not terrible. Yeah, all of my units are taking pretty heavy casualties right now. Damage everywhere. Yeah, I was afraid of this. Hopefully Janov does not KO this Raven. And he did. And that's literally a restart, unfortunately, because if any of the Ravens are KO'd, you don't get the item. Thank you, Janov. You are such an enormous, erroneous waste. I will be right back. I am back, gamers, and you are not able to talk to Naysala. You do have to have some room for him to talk to your units. All right. And I think this is exactly how I'm going to accomplish that task. Even with the Brave Bow, he's doing like very meager damage. Anybody need healing? Yes. Mend you up. Don't really think anybody else needs any healing. Yeah, once you talk to him with Janov, you do not have to worry any further about being attacked by him. He will go straight for talking to Rayson. And this mercenary decided to attack Shinon at range and got a bunch of hits on him. So he's healing himself in the distance. Nice damage. Only 4 against Mist. Rayson. Hey, Rayson, look at you. You look sharp, kid. Go away. Oh, so you can talk. You. How dare you show your face to me? Well, I have been called brazen before. Some have gone so far as to say shameless. Come on, at least let me give you a reason. Begone, my ears are closed to you. Rayson, we're friends, are we not? Oh yes, friends. In fact, we're such good friends that you sold me to that wretched sack of lard. I didn't really sell you. Besides, I planned on rescuing you right away. You were just impatient and flew away on your own, so... Are you blaming me? No. Well, maybe. I mean, it was I who was in the wrong, on all accounts. No one was hurt in the end. Come on, smooth those ruffled feathers, all right? Leanne is alive. Yes, Tibarn's attendant told me. That's wonderful news. When he sees her face, I'm sure King Lorazia will begin to feel better at once. Things are really looking up, aren't they, Rayson? I suppose that if you hadn't deceived me and taken me to the forest, we might not have discovered her. So I will forgive you, just this once. Rayson, oh, that's... With conditions. Will you accept them? What? What are they? Pull your troops from this battle, now, and never again enter into combat against your fellow Legus. Oh, come now, Rayson, that's asking too much. What will you do, then? Will you continue to fight the Crimean army to which I'm in service? Very well, you win, Rayson. I'll leave and take my soldiers with me. Yet I cannot say what the future will bring. I have the fate of my nation to consider, after all. Very well. So we're friends again? Come to Kilvas for a visit, will you? Nalucci will be pleased. I'll do that. When this war is over, Leanne and I will both come. Oh, and as for Tibarn? I'll speak with him. There's no need for you to worry. Thank you. Farewell, and watch yourself. This is war, you know. Oh, I almost forgot. I've got something for you. Call it an I'm sorry present. So if you do not save all the ravens alive, good grief, this little blip of a conversation, this oh I almost forgot whatever, will not show up. You'll just get him leaving. The rest of his ravens will leave, but you will not get this wonderful trinket. What's this supposed to be? It's a human trinket. It's called a night ring. Something made by Bjork. Don't make such a disgusted face. I tried it and it proved to be quite useful. Understood. I'll take it for now. Don't get killed, Rayson. If anything were to happen to you, Nelucci would never let me hear the end of it. Nesala, thank you. You get the Night Ring. Listen to me, Darkwings. We of Kilvas are leaving. Turn at once and head for home. It does not matter after they turn green if they stay alive or not. So do not fret that, because most of them will perish, especially if there are ballista shots still left on the field. Double effectiveness, it just shows itself to be such a weak tool when you see an archer go up and attack a raven, who are notoriously not that strong, by the way, and still doesn't even do enough damage to hit double digits. Yeah, they will perish. It would actually be kind of funny if you could somehow get Nesala to attack the rest of these units, but once the ravens turn green, they are no longer in attack mode. They will just disappear. So what would have to happen is he would have to be in the range of other units and pretty much the only person in their range, because they won't attack folks that are way stronger than them. Which is notably at least somewhat good that the AI in this game isn't that terrible. So, before I begin said chapter, or turn, I should say, I'm going to check out the Night Ring, an item that, when equipped, allows the wearer a second movement as with cavalry. This gives you Canto. This is equipable on all of your units except for the units that do have Canto, because why would you equip it on them? So I'm going to equip that. Now that Rayson is transformed, he has 10 movement. If I were to dance for these units right here in this square, he could move the rest of his 10 spaces. It's such an incredibly powerful thing. And it is actually one of the reasons why I typically choose Rayson over the other Herons in Radiant Dawn, because he has Canto and the best overall ability, combatively so. And yes, I know he cannot take part in combat, but because of his stats in that game being higher than the rest, if he does see combat, he's likely the least going to be affected by it. But with that being said, I think this is a perfect opportunity to bid you all a farewell. I want to thank you for joining me. If you like my content, please upvote and follow, or like and subscribe, depending on your platform of choice. And while you're at it, have a great and glorious day gaming.